What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon, MLB DFS video. It is Tuesday. It is September 19th, and we are back bringing you, hopefully, a very informative video. If you've never been here before, buckle up. You're in for a treat. Get a paper, get a pen, get ready. We go through everything. Unlike some of those other DFS providers, we go through every single game. Any pitcher that is available, we look at them. We look at their past matchups. We look at all of the bats that are a viable option on the entire slate. If you come away from this video and you can build your own lineups or you have a different mindset, that's awesome. That's exactly what we're trying to do. If you do need a little bit more help, we do have a website, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, which we offer more services than what we talk about in here. These videos are very informative. If you do need a little bit more help, you can go check it out, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. In the link below is the article that coincides with this slate. We go into some of the plays that we like the most out of everything at each position. If you need a little bit more help than that, we do have an MLB tab. All of this information is here. We have FTA Plus, Fantasy Team Advisors Plus, $24.99 for a month, includes all DFS for MLB, MMA, NASCAR, NFL, PGA, and NBA once it comes back. And that's $24.99 plus sports betting. If you want, we do have a yearly pass, $199. Today is the last day to use the promo code NFLVIP to get $100 off. After today, will not work. $199 normally, get it for $99 right now. The thing we do, if any video gets at least 50 likes, you leave a comment and you are a subscriber, you have a chance to win a weekly pass, and you can win every single day. You have a chance to win a weekly pass. Anytime any video gets at least 100 likes, you have a chance to win a monthly pass. 125 likes, a chance to win a yearly pass. And if any of our videos ever get 150 likes, someone will win a lifetime pass, brought to you by FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. So, that being said, go check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Ton of information for MLB. We've got MMA, we've got NASCAR, we've got NFL, we've got PGA. We've got it all for you in one-stop DFS shop. So, that being said, towards the end of this video, towards the end of the video, we do simulations. We do 10,000 daily simulations, and it spits out information of a ton of stats that is simulating for this slate. At the end of this video, we're going to give you the top 10 or 15 bats and pitchers after doing 2,000 simulations. If you want to see the 10, those are all on the website under the MLB DFS player projections. Also, at the end of this video, I'm going to link Monday Night Football's breakdown. This is something I'm going to start doing moving forward. We're going to look at the matchups. We do a full matchup breakdown each week, but we're going to specify breaking it down into like Thursday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, and then Monday Night Football. Because a lot of people, you guys have been reaching out saying you love the breakdown that I put out Monday. So hopefully it's something for you guys. So that being said, let's jump right into this slate. We've got an early slate because there's a couple of games. There's 3 games early, and then we've got a main slate. So for whatever reason, lately there's been these slates where some games are 25, 30 minutes before the main slate. But that's it. We're just going to look right into it. We'll discuss it. And if you have any questions, get those comments down below. So, first game is the Angels at Tampa Bay Rays. You've got Patrick Sandoval versus Taj Bradley. Sandoval, 61 plate appearance. He's seen him a little bit. What scares me a little bit is Tampa Bay hitting against lefties. It's really hard to want it, especially on like a small slate like this. So just kind of looking at this, Patrick Sandoval, second to lowest priced pitcher, has not had his good stuff lately. He did face this team back on August 19th, 8.5 fantasy points for 7,200. I feel like, he had 6 runs, 2 of them were earned, but I feel like it's gonna be the same. That's the one time he's faced him this year. He is pitching on the road. He's a little bit better on the road, but he's still got a 4.61 ERA. I would be mainly focusing. Now that Ohtani's out, there's not much in this Angels lineup that scares me. We look at Bradley here a little bit. Game log, did he just face him? So he's been decent. His price is $7,900, so it's kind of up there. He has not faced the Angels this year, so they haven't seen him. He's pitching at home where he has a 5.85 ERA. Tournaments I'm okay with, I guess, just because of how bad the Angels are. But let's just take a look at the bats, just in case we're not going to be looking at either of these pitchers. We can definitely look at the bats. That might jump out at you. Angels, Logan O'Hoppe maybe. Brandon Drury. Even though I like Drury and Randall Grichuk against lefties. You got Mickey Moniak. Maybe a little bit of Brett Phillips. David Fletcher. There's not a lot to like. I kind of think, I honestly think Bradley as tournament, I'm okay with that. And then we focus on the Tampa Bay bats against the lefty. Yandy Diaz, Randy Arozarena, Luke Raley, those top three right there. Then you've got Brandon Lau. You can see there's a reason because they're hitting the ball lately. Those are the best options that I would look at. If those are going to be the higher owned options of this. If you want to go lower, Isaac Paredes you could look at. Maybe Manny Margot be a cheaper option than some of the other ones. Harold Ramirez, Josh Lowe. I think Tampa Bay is a stack you want to have. It's just finding the correct bats are the ones that fit in to this early slate. So I don't want anything to do with Sandoval. Tournaments, I'm okay with Bradley, and then Tampa Bay bats are what I would look at. Twins at the Reds are the next one. Kenta Maeda versus to be announced according to this, but DraftKings thinks it's going to be Ben Lively. So looking at this, you've got Maeda at the top at 8,500. Game logs, he's coming off a good game against the White Sox. We actually had him in that. 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 8 Ks. I think that's pretty much what the simulations had. I can't remember. It was very close. I do remember looking at them, and they were very close on the strikeouts. They were close on the innings and even the fantasy points on DraftKings. Splits-wise, he has not faced Cincy this year. It is Great American Small Park. The ball does fly out, so we'll have to definitely look at the weather, see if the wind is blowing out, just to kind of see anything. That being said, Maeda is in a good spot here. I don't mind him. Again, 3 games, you're doing tournaments only. And then Ben Lively coming in, 4.1 innings his last start, 9.4 fantasy points, and that was against Detroit. Against Minnesota, he has not faced them this year. I don't know if he's faced them at all. Probably not. Then we're looking at home games. He's got a better ERA at home, 3.93 compared to 6.17 on the road. I still don't think I want anything to do with Ben Lively. I think I would be looking at Maeda as pitching, and I would be looking at the Twins bats as what I'm looking at. So Twins bats that jump out to me without having seen any injury designations or anything like that would be Edward Julian. I would look at Max Kepler. I would look at Royce Lewis, like I said in yesterday's video. He just been dominant lately. I would look at him. Edward Julian, I would look at. I don't mind Ryan Jeffers. Do like him a little bit better against lefties, but I'll take some Ryan Jeffers. Alex Kirilloff, I'm okay with against a righty. Jorge Polanco as well. If I'm going lower, I might go down to Willie Castro or Kyle Farmer, but I think you could probably get away with even a Matt Wallner would be an option there. Reds bats, if you're not going with Maeda, Joey Votto's tournament, I mean, they're basically all tournaments. They just DFA'd Hunter Renfroe, so he's off the team. Harrison Bader is on the IL now, so he is done probably for the year and off the team. Marte, India, Votto, Senzel, Friedel, and Fraley might be it. I kind of do like I'd rather have Maeda and Minnesota bats over Lively and Reds bats. The Mets at the Marlins is the next game. You got Joey Lucchesi versus Braxton Garrett, the battle of the lefties, as you'll say. And we did use Lucchesi his last start. We did. And let's look at that. So Lucchesi coming in, went 7 innings against Arizona, 5 hits, 1 run, 2 Ks. So he didn't get very many Ks, which is unfortunate. He did have 3 walks, so we did get minus points for those, but he still had 19 fantasy points at 6,200. He's now jumped up 1,000 on the year. It's the second most his salary's been all year. Splits-wise, he hasn't faced Miami this year. Pitching on the road does have a better ERA on the road at 2.41, but Miami does hit lefties well. That's the thing. Then we got Braxton Garrett. 8,200 out of him. Really good game against Milwaukee. Not a good game against the Dodgers, his last 2. He's faced the Mets twice this year already. 7.2 innings, 4 earned runs, 8 Ks, only averaging 7.8 in those games. That's not enough. Probably not using him. I would rather look at the bats. So just digging into the bats, the Mets bats that have success against lefties, Lindor, Pete Alonso, Francisco Alvarez I would look at. Mark Vientos is a cheaper option. Ronnie Mauricio. Rafael, I mean, it just really depends on who the Mets are going to be throwing out there. Again, it's the last 2 weeks of the year for them. They're out of contention. They're probably playing some guys just to kind of get some bats in there. A Brett Beatty, you could look at DJ Stewart, possibly. Flip side of that, if you're not using Lucchesi, I love me some Jake Berger. Jorge Soler is back. He smashes lefties. Jesus Sanchez, I would look at Jazz, lefty on lefty. I would look at Jacob Stallings as a cheap catcher option on this early slate. Josh Bell hits lefties well. Brian De La Cruz. Luis Ariz, obviously. And if you get real cheap, Yuli Gurriel, if he's even in there, might be an option that you could look at. So those are some of the options in this game. I'm probably not going with pitching. Probably not. So yeah. Actually, you know what? I forgot to have the giveaway. I forgot to see who the winner is from yesterday's giveaway. Let's do that real quick. I completely forgot. So again, this you got in here if you left a comment. If you were a subscriber and left a comment in yesterday's video, it picks up all comments. So let's see who the winner is. And again, you can win every single day. The winner is Matt Fukuda. Definitely a strange slate. Not sure I can get up to Peralta. That's yesterday. So yes, so congratulations, Matt. Again, Matt's won in the past. He's a subscriber over at FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Check it out. Good luck. Congrats again, Matt. You can win it tomorrow. And you know it. If you've been here before and you've been here multiple times, you've been here months, you can win every single day. You have that opportunity. All you need to do is like the video. Basically, hit the bell notification so you know when these videos go live and get your comment in there early so you have a good chance. So, congratulations, Matt. Let's go on to the next part. So that is the 3-game main early slate. I'm probably not using Lively, Sandoval, Lucchesi. I'd probably go with Bradley and Maeda. Maybe throw Braxton Garrett in there if he has a chance, but I'd rather go Bradley and Maeda in this early slate. So then, yeah, that's what I would do. All right, so this next game here, we've got the White Sox at the Nationals. We got Jose Urena versus Jackson Rutledge. Now, I believe this is Urena's second start. I think he just got called. Yeah, I mean, he's 5,000 game logs. So he's done 2. So he's had 2 starts since getting called back up. The last action was in April. So in that game against Minnesota, 6.1 innings, 6 earned runs, 8 Ks, 14.1. So he gave up 6 earned runs, but his 8 Ks actually saved him, and he got 14.1. So almost 3 times value. He would have had probably five times value or so had he not given up 6 runs. If he gave up no runs, that would have been a perfect stat line at 5,000. He's still 5,000. He's going up against Washington. Tournament-wise, I'm okay with tournament-wise. Because he is so cheap, he allows you to pay up at any other position. He really does. Now he's got a matchup against the White Sox. Not the White Sox. The Nats. He's faced them once this year. 2.2 innings, 6 runs, 4 of them earned. That was back... Okay, so we're not going to know. It's one of these that say Colorado, because whenever they're on the team, 2.2, it was this one. April 7th is when he faced them last time. So again, tournaments I'm okay with, especially at 5,000. That allows you almost to stack almost anyone. But again, he has an 8.48 ERA in this game. Then you got Jackson Rutledge coming in. Not a good start. He got lit up by the Pirates. And it was the Pirates, 3.2 innings, 7 earned runs. Not a welcome to the majors. 17.18 ERA. Probably avoiding him. Completely avoiding him. So let's look at the bats in this one. 17 ERA. I mean, it's one start. I get it. It's skewed. The numbers are inflated a little bit. So looking at this, if you're not going with Rutledge, which I wouldn't, I would look at the White Sox bats. I would look at Eloy. I would look at Luis Robert Jr., Gavin Sheets, Andrew Vaughn are the top 4 that I would look at. You want to go down a little bit. Next tier would be an Andrew Benintendi, possibly. Again, you don't know who's going to be catching for them. Yaz is the switch hitter, so he could be an option. Trace Thompson would be another option. If you're not going with Urania and you want to look at Washington bats, Joey Meneses I'm okay with. I'm okay with Lane Thomas, C.J. Abrams, Keibert Ruiz, Dom Smith, who is a lefty. Again, that's a tournament play there. Carter Kieboom's another tournament play. So I don't know if I'll have much exposure to this game. I could see a little bit of Urania as a GPP pitcher, and that's it. I don't want Rutledge, and I don't want a ton of Urania, but that's kind of my thought in this game. Next one, Blue Jays at the Yankees. You got Yusei Kikuchi versus Clark Schmidt. They've seen each other enough. Kikuchi, 117 plate appearances between Toronto and when he was with Seattle. The Yankees are still technically in the wild card race. Everything has to go their way, though. So basically, they need to sweep the Toronto Blue Jays here. Whether or not that happens, I don't know. Clark Schmidt's actually been very good lately. So if we look at these numbers, they got Yusei Kikuchi here at 8,700. He is a lefty. Generally, the Yankees bats do hit lefties well when they're on. So just kind of looking at this game log wise, did not have a good game against Texas. We actually stacked Texas against him. It's very hard to take a pitcher against Texas. 5 innings, 6 earned runs. They ended up losing 10-0. That was last Tuesday. 1.1, yeah. But before that, he had 22.9 against Kansas City. But they are not a good team. Splits-wise, he's faced the Yankees once this year. 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run. That was in Toronto, I believe. Was it that long ago? It was in April? No, that was in Yankee Stadium. Oh, I could have swore. Okay. Looking at this, he's pitching on the road where he does have a 3.74 ERA, a little bit better than at home. But it is Yankee Stadium. They've been hitting a little bit better. I'm probably off of Kikuchi. And then if we look at... Where's Clark Schmidt? He's actually 7,300. Did not have a good start against Boston. 5.1 innings, 3 earned runs, only 3 Ks. But before that, he was getting at least 5 Ks. He's getting those points. He's faced Toronto once this year. 5.2 innings, 3 runs, none of them earned. 2 home runs, 8 Ks is actually 26.4 fantasy points. Is not bad considering he gave up some runs. So looking at this, I like Clark Schmidt a little bit better. If you're not going Clark Schmidt, obviously Vlad is a Yankee killer, Bo Bichette, Matt Chapman, Davis Schneider. A little bit lower would be Dalton Varsho, George Springer. Alejandro Kirk is a lefty here. He could hit it there in Yankee Stadium. I would look at those bats. The Yankees bats, this is it. That's Aaron Judge. Stanton is batting less than 200. There's really not much else to say. He's batting less than 200. But when he gets a hold of one, he can really get a hold of one, and he could get it against a lefty. We could see some good things. So he would be another option. Sorry, I keep having to pause the video. I have an itch in my throat, and I think I'm getting sick. So apologize if it seems a little jumbled, but we will continue. We will persevere. We will get through it. Higashioka, if he is the catcher, he hits lefties well. They do want to get Austin Wells as much as they can. He's a lefty, though, so definitely check to see if it's Higashioka. He does hit lefties well. He's a tournament-only option. Another 2 bats I really love, Glaber, DJ LeMahieu's been on a tear the last couple of weeks. I would look at him. Obviously, Anthony Volpe. If somehow IKF gets in there, I love IKF. Oswald Peraza is a cheaper option. He has been hitting the ball very, very well this year. Those would be basically the bats that I would use in this game, especially against a lefty here. So I won't have any exposure to Kikuchi in cash at least. I would Clark Schmidt in cash, though. Phillies at the Braves, Christopher Sanchez versus Spencer Strider. Didn't they just face each other? his last start. Obviously, Strider is 12.8 thousand. Yeah, he just faced Philly his last start. 32.2 fantasy points. 7 innings on the road, 1 earned run, 9 Ks. Quadzilla. I mean, if you've never seen Spencer Strider, Google a picture of him, and his quads are literally the size of my body. Doesn't miss leg day. I think every day is leg day. But yeah, he's got 259 strikeouts. He just struck him out 9 times. He's faced him 3 times this year, giving up in 19 innings, 4 earned runs, 27 strikeouts in 3 games. That's the equivalent of a 1 full game of strikeouts, a perfect game. He's averaging 30.2 fantasy points. Now, this is where I could see you paying up and get screwed over, because he is so expensive. It's 12,800. Cautious on this one. I think he's a cash option only. In tournaments, I think you got to divest your funds in 2 different pitchers about 8,000 a piece, or a little bit less than 8,000, because he is very, very expensive, but he's dominated them all year. Now he's back home. I kind of like that. He's got a better ERA on the road, though, so that's something to monitor as well. But he just faced this team and just dominated this team last week. Definitely something you got to think about. And then Christopher Sanchez looks like he's an opener. Oh, so Sanchez and Lorenzen are now going to be openers for each other instead of traditional starters. He did have a good game. He went 7.1 innings against the Braves last game. Did give up 4 earned runs, 1 home run, 10 Ks. But he's only going to be doing a couple. So you're not probably going to get 5 innings out of him. That's the problem. So Sanchez isn't an option. Yeah, so I would basically, what I'm looking at in this game are the Braves bats against both Lorenzen, who struggled since his no-hitter, and Christopher Sanchez, who's going to be an opener. So they're just going to combine. I'm stacking the Braves. Again, just like I say every time, watch the lineups that come out, then pick your Braves bats. 1 through 9, it really doesn't matter. There's not really a hole in that lineup. So depending on who the Braves come out, go with the Braves. Find the 1 through 9 hitters. See what you can fit into your lineups. Go Braves. And it's hard to want to take any Philly bats against Spencer Strider, since he just has their number this year. Guardians at the Royals. You got Logan Allen versus to be announced. Now I want to say this one screwed us over before in this ballpark. Was before the All-Star break. So yeah, no, it was after the All-Star break. So he dominated Pittsburgh. Then he got sent down right before the All-Star break. Then they pulled him back up, and he went against Kansas City. He went 7 innings, gave up 5 runs. No, that's what it was. We were using him against Kansas City before the All-Star break. He only went 3.2 innings and was actually coasting. Then they pulled him, and then they sent him down until after the All-Star break for innings limit. And then he came back, faced them, and did give up some runs. So he's faced them this year twice, 10.2 innings, 4 earned runs, 14.1 fantasy points, which would not be enough. I will have exposure to him. Tournament-wise, I'm okay with Logan Allen in this pitcher's park against this Kansas City team. It is a plus matchup on paper for him. And then Kansas City, they think it's going to be Alec Marsh. But he also opened last time. Or he wasn't the opener. He came in. So we're probably going to see. It depends. Again, this is why this part of the season, it kind of sucks when you get pitchers who are getting to their career limits and innings, and then they have openers, and then you can't do anything. So I wouldn't look at Alec Marsh. I would kind of look at Logan Allen and then maybe some Cleveland bats. It really depends on what bats. Obviously, Jose Ramirez is a bat you would use. Naylor, Josh Naylor is a bat you would use. Cole Calhoun, I don't mind. Steven Kwan, Andres Jimenez. I'm okay with those bats. If for whatever reason you're not going with Logan Allen, Salvi Perez hits lefties very well. I would look at him. I would look at Bobby Witt against the lefty. I would look at Michael Massey. Drew Waters, Edward Olivares I'd look at. Maybe a little bit of Michael Garcia or MJ Melendez. It really depends on the lineup Kansas City throws out there today. But I do like me some Logan Allen. I don't want anything to do with Kansas City pitching. Pirates at the Cubs, to be announced. Looking at this. Bailey Falter versus Javier Assad. Maybe. We are not guaranteed. And last time I went through this, neither of the pitcher were on the slate. So my analysis was moot. So we're not going to cover this game because they're not guaranteed at the making of the time of this video. But we will, if these are in fact the pitchers and everything like that, the simulations, the projections, everything will show that. So once we get confirmation, we can kind of go through this. So we're not going to cover this game because, again, we don't know for sure. But if you want to see, after we'll have the BVP, we'll have the simulations throughout, we'll have everything there. It will take into effect if those pitchers are the ones that are actually pitching. Same thing with Brewers at the Cardinals. You got to be announced versus Drew Rom. Let's see. Might be Adrian Hauser. Game logs, Miami, 18.3, minus 2.5. So, yeah, he came back from injury and didn't do too well. Or he did well for 6,500. Now he's got a better matchup against St. Louis. Has not faced them this year. Pitching on the road, he does have a little bit better ERA on the road. Tournament-wise, I don't mind Adrian Hauser if he is actually starting. And then we got Drew Rom coming off a fantastic game against Baltimore. I don't think anyone saw that coming. 27 fantasy points there. He has not faced Milwaukee this year. I'm probably not using either of these pitchers. Maybe Hauser for tournaments, but I don't know. Let's take a look at the bats. Maybe. There we go. So if in fact you are not using either pitcher, Christian Yelich, I'm okay with. He's still kind of, his back's still an issue, so that's definitely something. And he's very expensive. For sure, using William Contreras against a lefty. I'm okay with Josh Donaldson as a lefty. He's a tournament option. Carlos Santana is a switch hitter, so he's fine against the lefty there. Mark Canha, love me some Mark Canha here against Drew Rom for sure. Willie Adames is another one that I absolutely love against Drew Rom. I'm okay with that. If you want to get a little bit lower, Brian Anderson, if he plays, I don't know if he will. Sal Frelick, Bryce Turang, those are options. Maybe Blake Perkins is the cheapest I'd probably go. If it is Adrian Hauser, in fact, and you're not going with him, Tyler O'Neill just got put on the IL, so he's probably done for the year. So that opens up a spot. So I'm looking at Wilson Contreras a little bit. Alec Burleson, I don't mind. Newt Barr, Edmund. Richie Palacios, I'm okay with. Very cheap would be Juan Yepes. That would be probably the lowest I would go for the Cardinals bats. We got the Red Sox at the Rangers. We got Tanner Houck versus Nate Eovaldi. Nate Eovaldi facing his old team. But which Nate Eovaldi are we going to get? So looking at Tanner Houck, maybe. Tanner Houck is right here at 7,000, going up against Texas. Again, it's very hard to take a pitcher against Texas. Houck coming in had a fantastic game against the Yankees his last start. 6 innings pitched. The only game the Yankees lost in that one. Had 7 strikeouts there. Splits-wise, has not faced Texas this year. He's pitching on the road where he does have a little bit better ERA at 4.75, but he does come in with a 4.94 ERA overall. So, not really liking it. Not a ton to like there. Probably stacking Texas against him. And you guys already know who it would be. It's Corey Seager against a righty at home. I love that. Jonah Heim. I like Mitch Garver. I'm okay with. Depending, Josh H. Smith kind of comes into there. Marcus Semien is an option there. Duran is an option. It really just depends on the lineup that comes out. But again, Texas is, we know they're very good. They're going to put up some runs on Tanner Houck most likely. Then Eovaldi comes in. He's the 5th highest priced pitcher at 9,700. He has not really done much since coming back from injury. Minus 0.6, then 8.3, then 5.9. He's very expensive. He has not hit value. He faced this Boston team on July 6th. 5.1 innings, 4 earned runs. That was in Boston. That's the only time he's faced him. He's pitching at home where he does have a worse ERA. I don't think I can pay 9,600 for him. I think everyone will be on a Texas stack where I think you could go a Boston, go a little bit under the radar with Boston and maybe make some buku bucks there, or bacon, obviously. So just kind of looking at Boston bats that we could look at. Yoshida, I'm okay with. Devers, obviously. Verdugo, I don't mind Verdugo. Wilyer Abreu, if he's in there, he's a cheap option. Rafaela is a cheap option as well. Maybe even go down to Reese McGuire if you're desperate at catcher, but there are better catching options on this slate. So I don't think I want pitching in this one. I want bats in this one. And I don't think I can pay up for Eovaldi. I don't trust him enough. He could have a fantastic start. He could. But the pros do not outweigh the cons in this one. Yeah, I would stay away from Eovaldi here. Got the Orioles at the Astros, to be announced versus Hunter Brown. Let's see if they think it's going to be anybody. They think Kyle Gibson. Where'd it go? There it is. 8,200 game log, 17.4. Did not hit value against St. Louis. Did not hit value against the Angels or the White Sox. Did hit value back on August 24th against Toronto. Has not faced Houston. Now he's pitching on the road. On the road, he does have a slightly better ERA. But again, this is an Astros team. I know that I believe they just got swept by the Royals, right? I think. So they're reeling. Baltimore had a good series against Tampa Bay. Tournament-wise, I'm okay with Gibson. But again, it is the Houston bats. I think offense could be a pretty good story in this one. We do see Hunter Brown coming off a really good game. It was Oakland, though, so that doesn't count. He's faced Baltimore once this year, has given up 5 earned runs. I'm probably avoiding both of these pitchers. I'm looking at the offenses here. They look like it could be a good game offense-wise, and we could definitely see a bunch of runs in this one. This is 2 really good teams going against each other. So looking at this, Kierstad is a cheap option. I would look at Gunnar Henderson. I would look at Santander. So we've got Santander and Adley are both switch hitters, so both are fantastic options here. Then you got Gunnar Henderson, a lefty. I would look at Mountcastle or O'Hearn. If O'Hearn is in there, he should be a value play. Another value play might be Jordan Westburg. Flip side of that, if you're not going with the bats or the pitching, if you're not going with Kyle Gibson, Yordan, Michael Brantley, Kyle Tucker, all these lefties, I would look at. Yanner Diaz, I'm okay with. Altuve, I'm okay with. If you want to go down a tier, John Singleton is a tournament option. Chas McCormick, Mauricio Dubon, I don't mind these guys. Maybe Jake Myers, but I don't even know. Again, obviously Houston's going to be in the playoffs. They're going to be playing their guys. They're trying to get the division. They're trying to secure everything. They're going to be playing their best players. I don't know if they're going to have any value bats in that lineup that I feel confident about outside of what I just mentioned. So probably not using the pitching in this one. Rockies at the Padres. You got to be announced versus Blake Snell. Love me Snellzilla. There's a reason he's the picture of the video and the article. He's cheaper than Strider by $2,200, and he's cheaper than Luis Castillo. Now, he's had a fantastic game. I mean, look at these numbers. These are fantastic numbers in a row. 2.43 ERA, has 217 strikeouts. He's the leading candidate for the Cy Young. He's faced Colorado twice this year, 11.1 innings, 4 earned runs, 21 strikeouts, averaging 26.8 fantasy points, is exactly what we need at this price. I'm actually surprised he's not the second highest priced pitcher on the slate. I'm trying to see, were those in Colorado too? Let's see. At Colorado, went 7 innings, 1 earned run. and versus Colorado, 4.1 innings, 3 earned runs, and that was the first start of the season, which that's not against him. So I love Blake Snell in this one. Number one option for me. Blake Snell, love his price. Depending on who Colorado, let's see. Is it Seabold? They don't know. He hasn't pitched since August 7th and got sent down. Have not seen if he got sent up. But yeah, 7.65 ERA. I'm not using Seabold. I'm using Blake Snell, and I'm looking at bats. So I would be looking at Juan Soto, Fernando Tatis Jr., Ha-Sung Kim, Manny Machado, Xander Bogaerts. You want to get cheaper, Trent Grisham would be probably the lowest I would go. So I do love a San Diego stack today, especially if it's Seabold. Now, we're not 100% sure. If it is Seabold, those bats I absolutely love, and I absolutely love Blake Snell today. Then we got the Mariners at the Athletics. You got Luis Castillo versus Paul Blackburn. We just saw Castillo was the second highest priced pitcher on the slate. So looking at these, I mean, it's a fantastic matchup for him. He's in he's in Oakland. It's a pitcher's park. He's going up against this team. He's faced them once this year, 6 innings, no earned runs, 8 Ks, 29.9 fantasy points, which would hit value. It makes a good option as well, but we can just save money with Snell. But I don't mind Luis Castillo either. And then Paul Blackburn. So yeah, I don't want anything to do with Paul Blackburn. I would be looking at Castillo, and then I would be looking at the Mariners bat. So big one, Jared Kelenic could be a cheaper option, but obviously Julio, Teoscar, Eugenio Suarez, Cal Raleigh, the big dumper. Love me some Cal Raleigh. J.P. Crawford, I'm okay with. Love when he leads off. Don't know if he'll be leading off, though. Excuse me. I would look at possibly Josh Rojas, Ty France, and then if you want to get cheaper, if he starts, Sam Haggerty. If somehow he's starting, Mike Ford is a fantastic tournament option. Don't know if he'll start, though. That is definitely something to look at. But I don't want Paul Blackburn, and I don't want any of the Oakland bats. I want Luis Castillo and then the Mariners bats. Then we've got the Giants at the Diamondbacks. To be announced for Zach Gallen. I do wish this were in San Francisco, but I want Zach Gallen. Now, you could even save a little bit more money than Snell, going down to $9,800 for Gallen, who's having a great year. Did not have a good start against the Mets. 5 innings. 7 runs, 6 of them earned, but had a fantastic complete game against the Cubs. 9 innings, 9 Ks. Looking at this, he's faced San Francisco twice this year. 13.2 innings, 5 earned runs, 12 Ks. Is at 19.6 fantasy points per game, which is 2 times value, which is what we need. I do like him. I do wish this were a little bit better for him in being in San Francisco, but I will take Zach Gallen, and I'll feel confident about it. And then if you're not, so depending on the pitcher, I guess, let's see. They think it's going to be Alex Cobb. Okay, so yeah. So he's pitching Tuesday. So he's supposed to pitch on Saturday, but he's pitching on Tuesday. He last pitched over a week ago. Whether or not, that is another thing. Some of you sometimes don't realize that sometimes when people, like, they have a routine, they're every 5 days, they're locked in, that's what they're getting. Sometimes you don't even realize that, and that could mess with them possibly if you're not realizing that, hey, he needs 5 days and go. So he's had a little bit extra rest. Whether or not that affects him, we'll see. 7,500, probably not taking him against Arizona. But if we dig into the numbers, he's actually had success against them. 2 games started, 13.1 innings, 3 earned runs, were all home runs. Was that one in Arizona, 1 in San Francisco, 1 at home, and then 1 at Arizona. Okay, so the 3 runs at home. So actually, Alex Cobb for tournaments, if he is the one starting, which it does look like, I don't mind him. It's going to be a cheaper option at $7,500. In that same range, I like him better than Sanchez and Lorenzen. Better than Houck, Blackburn, and Hauser. So in that price range, I don't mind him at all. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. Stats-wise, let's take a look at the bats. If you're not taking either pitcher, which I don't suggest, but we can look at it. Excuse me. If you're not going with Gallen because he had a down game last time and you think it's going to continue as a trend, Jock Peterson I would look at, J.D. Davis, Yastrzemski I don't mind, Brandon Crawford a very cheap option. Brandon Crawford, twilight of his career, is probably done after this year. Michael Conforto I'm okay with, Lamont Wade Jr., Wilmer Flores, and maybe go down to Luis Matos. If it's Alex Cobb and you think he's going to have a bad game, Arizona bats that I would look at would be Ketel Marte, Corbin Carroll, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. I'm okay with. Jordan Lawler. That's probably it. Maybe Evan Longoria if he's in there and starting. If not, I'm okay with that. I might even go Christian Walker. I do love Christian Walker against lefties a little bit more than righties, but I'll take Christian Walker if he's in that starting lineup too. Then the final game, Tigers at the Dodgers. It shows as they don't know yet, but we can see they think it's going to be Alex Faedo. Where was that? Maybe. So Faedo coming in, yeah. Again, he's an opener. 3 innings, 2 innings. Yeah, you're not paying $6,300 for that, and it's going up against the Dodgers. And then the Dodgers, it thinks it's going to be. Did I miss it, or they don't have it listed? Really? Wait, I'm looking at the wrong side. Pepio. He last pitched on Wednesday, so it would be his start, basically. 6 innings there. Going up against Detroit. I'm okay with Pepio. Did not start he has not faced them this year. Pitching at home, he 281, which is a great ERA. But again, he's only started 3 games. If it is him and he can go at least 5 innings, I do like him. Dodgers bats, I would definitely look against Faedo or whoever the opener or the long relief is. Freddie Freeman, Max Muncy, Mookie Betts, Peralta, Outman. The problem is the Dodgers have already clinched, so they might be throwing in some other guys just to let their starters rest. Freddie Freeman, if I didn't say his name, I can't remember. I would be looking at those bats. Again, a Dodgers stack. I'm very okay with a Dodgers stack against whoever Detroit throws out there today. And there you have it. There's the breakdown of all the pitching and all of the hitting on the slate. Now, what you've been waiting for. The top 10 bats, 2,000 simulations. Here we go. Number 1 is Aaron Judge against Kikuchi, which I love Aaron Judge in this matchup. Josh Lowe against Sandoval. Number 3 is Lane Thomas. Number 4 is Yandy Diaz. 5 is Luis Ariz. 6 is Justin Turner. 7 is Dom Smith. Kind of crazy, but as of now, Acuna is number 8. Number 9 is CJ Abrams. Number 10 is Corey Seager. 11 is Bo Bichette. 12 is George Springer. 13 is Francisco Lindor. 14 is Alec Bohm. And 15 is Josh Bell against Joey Lucchesi. Then we look at the pitching. Now, this is the thing. With simulations, you don't have to agree with all of them. I don't agree with all of these, but this is the order as of now that it thinks simulated 2,000 times. Taj Bradley, number 1. Number 2 is Luis Castillo. 3 is Spencer Strider. 4 is Yusei Kikuchi. 5 is Paul Blackburn. 6 is Nate Eovaldi. 7 is Clark Schmidt. 8 is Braxton Garrett. 9 is Patrick Sandoval. 10 is Christopher Sanchez. So it doesn't take into effect openers. So that's why, because obviously on paper he's a starter. So Christopher Sanchez is a starter, but he's maybe 3 innings, maybe 2. We don't know. So that is where simulations can only do so much. That is why you need to check the videos out. Check out all of the other content we have to help you out, because we read stuff more than a simulation reads it. But they are very good help. A lot of you have said you love them. They're very accurate. So thank you. And then 10 is Tanner Houck against Texas, which I don't agree with either. So these will change, definitely will change. Depending on who watch this video, we might be closer to lock, and they might have already changed already. So that's what I've got in today's video. We will be back tomorrow with that. I'm not sure if I will have the initial rankings video out for NFL or not. It's going to be one video instead of broken up into different positions. That just worked better. So we'll do that. Usually that comes out on Wednesdays. So probably for Wednesday, that's when the video for the rankings will be out. So definitely check that out. Definitely check out the breakdown that is coming. And all of the content we have at FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. So let me know what other content you guys would like to see. I will try to get that on the channel for you. Good luck on today's slate. And as always, let's bring home some bacon, guys. Peace!